Hi there. Ever hear the adage, debt is the root of all evil? Would never get into debt, it's financial slavery. Be a better alternative. That seems like excellent advice, doesn't it? After all, your life may seem to be on hold when you're drowning in debt, and no matter how hard you try to catch up, the debt will only keep getting bigger. And let's be honest, there is always interest associated with loans. Please hit subscribe button for more informative videos. Consider debt to be a burden. Rich people find it to be a treasure trove. Learn how they increase their money rather than deplete it by using leverage. Debt isn't simply for survival, it's for advancement. Discover how the wealthy create unstoppable revenue streams out of borrowed funds. What if you could become richer by taking on debt? Discover the hidden tactics used by the wealthy to make debt work for them rather than against them. Number 5. Most of the trade is based on debt. Let's start by discussing something that most people don't consider: the dependence of trade on debt. You might not be aware of how intricately debt is woven into global trade if you're not involved in international trade or company. As an illustration, let's say you are launching a company that sells pens, which are among the most widely used goods. Typically, you would take a plane to China, locate a plant that makes these pens, negotiate a price, purchase a container, have it shipped to the United States, and then distribute it to your clients. Doesn't that sound like a lot of cash up front? The secret, though, is that you are not required to pay for the pens up front. In actuality, the majority of factories, particularly those in countries like China, will lend you the goods to sell right away with the expectation that you will reimburse them months or even years later. That's correct. In the hopes that you will sell it and reimburse them, they will front you the inventory. This is known as trade credit, and it is a crucial component of international trade. Factories in countries such as China have established connections with buyers and suppliers worldwide. It's a trust-based structure, but the important thing to remember is that this is debt. Instead of making an upfront payment, you are purchasing the goods with the understanding that you will pay for them later. Why does this happen? Simple, because factories trust that you'll sell the pens and then settle the payment later. It's a win-win. This is how trade has been happening for decades, and it's a great example of how debt is used to scale business without needing a huge upfront investment. So, while you're busy paying off your debts, rich people are using other people's money, in this case, the factory's debt, to build their empires. This is why debt is so important to the global economy. It fuels business growth and keeps everything running smoothly. Number 4. Refinancing. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful ways wealthy individuals make money through debt: refinancing. Refinancing is the process of replacing an existing loan with a new one that has more favorable terms. It's like getting a fresh start on your debt, but with better conditions. And guess what? Real estate debt is one of the best types of debt to refinance. Real estate is where most of the wealth is built, and this is where debt can become a game changer. Imagine you saved up $200,000. Not bad, right? But you want to buy a property that costs $500,000. You can't quite afford the whole thing, but lucky for you, the bank will happily give you an $800,000 mortgage if you make a 20% down payment. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Let's say the property you bought was in rough shape. You used that $50,000 for renovations, and suddenly, bam, the property value jumps to $700,000. Now you can refinance that mortgage. With the value increased, you can take out an 80% mortgage based on the new value, which will be around $560,000. Out of that $560,000, $400,000 goes to pay off your original mortgage, and you've made $160,000 in equity without having to use any of your original cash for the full purchase. This is how the rich leverage debt in real estate to continuously grow their wealth. Debt in the form of mortgages is actually tax deductible, making it one of the best types of debt to have. Here's another benefit of refinancing. It gives you the option to free up cash that can be reinvested. For example, after refinancing, the extra cash you now have access to could be used to buy another property or fund other investments. This is the power of debt. It allows you to use other people's money to build a portfolio of assets. By refinancing properties, the wealthy can increase their return on investment, create new streams of income, and leverage assets to build even more wealth. Number 3. Hedge funds and leverage. Let's level up now and talk about hedge funds. These investment vehicles are designed to use a combination of debt, complex strategies, and leverage to generate huge returns. And it's not just about making money when stocks go up sometimes. Hedge funds make a killing when companies fall apart. How? Through short selling. Let's say you expect the stock of a company like Facebook to plummet because of some major shift in the market, like Apple cracking down on privacy. So you borrow a share of Facebook stock. Let's say it's worth $100 and sell it immediately. Now you've pocketed $100, but you still owe your broker that share. Here's the twist: if Facebook's stock price drops, you can buy it back at a lower price and return the stock to your broker, keeping the difference. If you bought back at $70, you just made $30. But here's where it gets more exciting. Leverage comes into play when you borrow more shares of stock to short. By using leverage, hedge funds can make massive bets on the market, and even small moves can turn into large profits. The key here is that hedge funds don't just use their own money. They borrow from banks or other financial institutions to place huge bets on the market, multiplying their potential returns. The risks are also higher, but that's the nature of high-stakes investing. Number 2. The power of Forex trading. You've probably heard of Forex trading. It's the largest financial market in the world, where currencies are traded 24/7. The Forex market is a game changer for those who can predict which currencies will rise and fall. And guess what? You don't even need a huge stack of cash to start thanks to leverage. For example, in the Forex market, you can borrow up to 100 times your investment. So if you have $1,000, you can hold a position worth $100,000. Let's say the currency you invested in appreciates by just 1%, you've made a $1,000 profit. But if it goes the other way and the currency drops, you can lose much more than your initial investment. That's why Forex trading is considered high risk. But it's one of the ways the ultra-wealthy use debt to multiply their returns on a global scale. Number 1. Building a stellar credit score. Here's a crucial tip that the rich know all too well. Debt is a tool to build credit. Every successful business and entrepreneur uses debt, but they also know how to manage it properly. In order to borrow at lower interest rates, you need to establish a solid track record of being a reliable borrower. This is where your credit score comes in. A credit score is essentially a financial report card that shows lenders how likely you are to repay borrowed money. The higher your score, the lower your interest rates, which means you can borrow at cheaper rates, increasing your profit potential. The wealthiest individuals don't shy away from using debt to their advantage. They use it strategically. By borrowing money wisely and repaying it on time, you build your credit history. This track record then allows you to qualify for more favorable loans in the future, which means you can borrow larger sums of money at lower rates. This is how many entrepreneurs grow their businesses, by leveraging good credit to secure better terms on loans and investments. Over time, as your credit score improves, you'll find that your borrowing power expands. So, what did we learn today? Debt isn't just something that keeps you up at night. When used correctly, it can be a game-changing tool that the rich use to amplify their wealth. From trading in real estate to hedge funds, Forex, and credit scores, debt, when managed strategically, is a key ingredient in growing your financial empire. I want to hear from you. Now, do you think debt can be a useful tool, or is it a trap that's best avoided? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new around here. I've got more tips on how to build your wealth, invest smartly, and make the most out of your money. So hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.